Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Enlightened World Network. It is my absolute pleasure to be here today bringing you a guided meditation with Lora Cheadle. Lora has been with us here at Enlightened World before. We are so excited not only to experience this meditation on, get ready for this, fun, but also to hear afterwards what Lora has been up to and what she's bringing to the world. Very interesting conversation we're going to have at the end. So, Lora, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's always my greatest pleasure.
So, you can just start whenever you're ready.
All right. I want to preface this meditation by thinking about we've got the 4th of July coming up. And for so many of us, we think freedom around the 4th of July. What I challenge you to do before we move into this meditation is think about the freedom of play. To think about when you were a kid. And no matter what kind of childhood you had, whether it was good, bad, or somewhere in between, go to a moment of running down the hill, swinging on swings, getting lost with your dolls or your cars or your stuffed animals. And just think about that freedom of play. And as you think about that freedom of how it feels to play, we will move gently into the meditation. It doesn't matter if your eyes are open or closed, but just soften. Move your gaze from your physical eyes into your heart, and then even a little bit lower into your solar plexus, your belly. And just let your belly soften. And as you do, imagine, visualize, or pretend that you are on top of a hill, and it's a grassy hill. And you're laying on your back on the top of this grassy hill. And it might be in a park or a backyard. It might even be in a schoolyard, and it might be somewhere that you've been. It might be something that you've seen in a movie. And it might just be something in your imagination. And laying there on your back on this grassy hill, allow your gaze to travel all around you, looking at the clouds, the color of the sky, the sunlight. Breathe in the smell of that grass, the smell of the earth. Notice as the clouds move by. Notice how the temperature changes on your skin, on your arms, on your face, and on your legs. When a cloud moves in front of the sun, however so slightly the temperature gets cooler. And then as the clouds gently move on, how the temperature gets warmer. You might even feel behind your back some of the bumps in the grass. The coolness of that grass tickling your arm or your legs. And from somewhere in the not too distance, I want you to hear the sound of laughter, the sound of playing. You might hear one of those red rubber balls bouncing on the blacktop. You might hear the sound of chains hitting poles. Maybe they're swings. Maybe they're tetherball. You don't know, but you just hear the chains and the metal. You hear the sounds of laughter. You might even hear the sounds of like a xylophone playing. And before long, you hear music. And at first you think, what is this? And then you go, oh my goodness, that's the sound of an ice cream truck. And it just makes you smile and expand and feel so supported. And for a moment, just lean into the support that the earth has for you. And look at this beautiful, expansive sky and let your solar plexus and your belly and your heart and your throat just open to this big, beautiful, expansive sky. As you lie there supported by the earth, guided by the universe. And as you hear the sounds of play all around you, doing whatever you feel guided to do. Come to your feet, whether you're rolling over on your side or sitting up or just hopping. I want you to stand on the top of this mountain, raise your arms up to the sky and give a twirl. And as you give a twirl or maybe two twirls, feel that laughter come up in you. And you might feel very silly. You might be thinking, oh, this is ridiculous. And if that's how you feel, don't judge it, just notice. And if you feel, oh, relief, it's about time, I got to twirl and play, notice that too. And whatever the state of your body in reality, move into this perfect, comfortable state of feeling good, of twirling, of jumping, of running. It doesn't matter if you haven't rolled down a hill in 50 years. In your mind's eye, if you want to lay on your side and roll down the hill, you can do it in this magical place. It doesn't matter if you haven't jumped rope and if you're afraid you're going to trip and your joints hurt. In this place, look down and notice that there's a jump rope. One of those jump ropes with the green or red and white plastic. Pick it up and just start skipping rope. Whatever you want to play with is suddenly by your side. Balls, swings, jump ropes, bars to climb up and twirl on, slides. It doesn't matter. In your mind's eye, it's all there. Bikes, roller skates, dolls, cars. And just give yourself the opportunity to play for a few glorious moments. And it might even be that suddenly a game of freeze tag is happening around you, a game of Red Rover, a game of soccer, and that you find yourself running until you feel your lungs burning, lunging for people without fear that you're going to get hurt or that you're going to trip and fall. And just move into the complete freedom of how good it feels to play and to laugh and to be wholly unself-conscious. You don't care what you look like or what you sound like. You don't care what people think of you. You're completely free in a state of absolute joy and play. Divine, sacred play. And in your mind's eye, if you want to continue playing and doing new things and doing different things, blowing bubbles, whatever it is, please continue on. And if you'd rather lay back down on this hill, on the grass, with a beautiful sky above you, and throw your arms open wide and just breathe, you can do that too, because this is all about you. And no matter what you're doing, rolling down the hill and climbing back up, racing around, or just lying peacefully, I want you to connect to pure joy, to pure play for the sake of play. That you're not playing to get better at something. You're not playing to lose 10 pounds. You're not playing to impress somebody. You're playing because your heart tells you that it's fun. The universe is here to support fun. Somewhere along the line, somebody may have told you to quit playing. The play is silly, that it serves no purpose, and that you needed to grow up, that you needed to get serious, that you needed to spend your time improving or healing. Now is the time to gently step back from some of those beliefs, directives. And if it feels right, to move back into a place of creative, uninhibited joy. There is always time for play. And while play may look different now, in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond, there is always room for play. There is always time for joy. There is always room for play. There is always time for joy. Breathe into the sacred nature of this joy. Feel how your body feels refreshed. You might feel delightfully exhausted, or you might feel powerfully energized. Your brain may suddenly be thinking about things like, I remember playing jacks. I remember pickup sticks. I remember board games. I remember cards. I loved Go Fish. Let all of those ideas continue to pop in your mind, to pop in your heart. And just notice how it feels to suddenly be connected once again to play. And what might it feel like to start playing at my age, in my condition, with all of my responsibilities? What might play look like? And notice those defeating messages, those limiting messages that pop up in your head. I can't afford dance lessons right now. That's stupid. I'd be the oldest one. I've got real things to do. I'm out of shape. Who would do that? What would people think? Whatever they are, just notice those messages. Smile at them. And perhaps choose to play anyway. Choose to go outside. Choose to sit on the grass. Choose to pick a dandelion, a clover. Choose to walk to a park or a playground. And to just check out the equipment. Maybe sit on a swing. Choose to play. Because play is sacred. Play is divine. Play is a gift from a creative universe that is encouraging us to get creative, that is encouraging us to create. And what better way to create than to play? Making some Play-Doh, buying some clay, getting a coloring book, painting. Anything that feels playful to you is just the energy of the divine flowing through you. For a few minutes, just allow your brain to create, to think about what was fun, braiding hair, putting on makeup, cooking, decorating food. What is playful to you? How can you let yourself play today, as well as every day in the future? Because the more you play, the more divine, creative energy is allowed in. Wherever you're at in your mind, slowly start bringing yourself back into your body now. Feeling the joy of play, feeling that absolute freedom. No time constraints. No monetary constraints. No physical constraints, just that absolute freedom and joy of playing. Take a breath. You might want to start wiggling your toes or your fingers, just bringing yourself back into your body, back into your heart, into your head. Circling your shoulders, keeping that divine, creative, playful, fun energy, because life is fun and life is meant to be enjoyed. And breathe and ask yourself, what can I do to play today? What can I do to play today? And then when you're ready, slowly flutter your eyes open and smile consciously smile and keep that question with you today and all summer. What can I do to play today? And breathe.
Laura, that is absolutely beautiful, beautiful meditation. And I see I am frozen or in the dark here, but I'm actually really not. I loved this meditation, and it just feels like it should be a TED Talk.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love that.
Well, there
Maybe
were
it should be.
so many wonderful things that you said. One of the things that I wrote down, play is sacred, play is divine, play is a gift. And then when you said anything that feels like playfulness is the divine working through you. So rich. This meditation should be listened to again, folks, especially if you were raised like I was, where life is serious and meant to be serious. And yeah, ooh, this was beautiful. Thank you so much. So Laura is a former attorney. She's a best-selling author, an international speaker, and a life choreographer. Laura, one of the things that you're working on that to me is fascinating and really speaks to some folks here at Enlightened World Network, the burnout versus betrayal. And we have spoken with you about betrayal before, and oftentimes we think about betrayal as something that somebody has done to us. But today, is it okay if we talk a little bit about betrayal when it's our own body,
Yes.
circumstances that's betraying us? We do have some folks here in the EWN family that are dealing with cancer
Mhm.
or other health issues, and it just doesn't feel fair.
No, no, it doesn't. And that's exactly it. We live in our bodies and we think we have these expectations that my body is me and I am my body, and that I trust my body to be healthy and well and blah, blah, blah. And this is my version of what healthy and well means. And this is what it feels like. And then we get cancer or a disease, or we just age, or we go through menopause and we think, I don't recognize this body. This isn't me. And what happens is we tend to get depressed, or we feel bitter. Why me? Or resentful. Everybody else is feeling fine. And when you really start focusing, it's a betrayal. Here were my expectations. My expectations were not met, and I feel betrayed. And it's not that your body didn't betray you. Maybe it did, but you can recover from betrayal when you identify that it is betrayal, because identifying it and calling it really what it is the first step in healing. Because if you know you feel betrayed by your body, and these were my expectations, whether they're realistic or not is a whole different conversation. But once those expectations were not met and you feel betrayed, now what? The question becomes, now what? Am I going to continue to be bitter and resentful and hate my body and hate my life and hate everybody else who has good health and blah, 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 blah? Or am I going to, what I like to say, flaunt? Am I going to flaunt? Because flaunt is the 5 steps of betrayal recovery that I use. And flaunt is find your fetish. So am I going to have fun? You can have cancer or diabetes or lose a limb or long COVID or whatever. You can have all that and you can still find your fetish and play and have fun. L is that second step in flaunt. You can still laugh. I know that sometimes you don't feel like it. And it's not about false positivity that, oh, he, I have cancer and it's great. But it's about, what can I enjoy right now? Because we all have an expiration date, and it's about the quality, not the quantity. So find your fetish and then laugh. Kittens are fun to watch. Babies are fun to watch. AU is about accepting unconditionally. When we spend so much time fighting what is, we waste so much energy, so much time we could be connecting with other people or creating or connecting with spirit. We're fighting. I wish I didn't have this. I wish I didn't have this. If only this could have been, I should have done this, blah, 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 blah. Those middle steps of flaunt is AU, accept unconditionally. And truly the moment that you can authentically, accept unconditionally, not just say, oh, I accept it, but accept what is, that sets you free. Because then you're no longer fighting and you can move on and you can be free to find your fetish and to laugh out loud because you've accepted unconditionally. The next step in flaunting is navigating the negative. Things come up all the time. They come up all the time. It's okay. Just navigate. If you need to crumple and grieve, that's fine too, but that's part of navigating. Get back into the game and keep moving forward. And that last step is of flaunt is T, trust your truth. And that's what we were talking about in the meditation today too, letting your truth flow through you, letting play flow through, letting joy flow through. The truth is we were created in the image and likeness of God, who is a creator. So let's create, let's own our truth of joy and beauty and play and fun, and let's flaunt no matter what the circumstances.
That is, I love that. I wrote all of that down, and yes, and I'm going to share this meditation in particular with some of our friends because I think it's going to be so helpful. And, one of the things I thought was, okay, what are you doing for fun today? And I'm actually going to ask my daughters that because that's foreign words in this household.
Yes.
Foreign words. And so I'm going to ask them that. And then I thought, oh, how quickly I could turn fun into work. Ooh, I have to have fun today. How do
Yes.
we not turn the search for fun into work?
Yeah, that's such a great question. When we focus on the feeling, sometimes cleaning my house brings me the biggest sense of fun because I'm singing and I'm listening to music and I'm having fun. So it's focusing on the feeling instead of the doing. Have I felt really playful today? Have I felt, for me, I feel flirtatious sometimes because I'm like teasing life. That's playful for me. Have I been in my body? Have I felt free and expansive and beautiful? And when you focus on the feeling of whatever play feels like to you, then it's easier to really focus on, was this fun? Because sometimes hard work is a lot of fun, and sometimes play just feels forced.
Mhm. Right, beautiful. Excellent. Lora, if people want to know more about you and follow your work, how do they find you?
I am on all social media, and my website is Lora Cheadle, LoraCheadle.com. And if you want to start figuring out the difference between burnout or betrayal and to see what you're experiencing, you can also go to burnoutorbetrayal.com and download a guide that will help you distinguish and separate those two feelings.
Excellent. Awesome. Lora, thank you so much for joining us here at Enlightened World Network. We so appreciate your message. And friends, thank you for joining us. So much love to each and every one of you. Take good care and God bless. Thank you, Lora.